All right, well, welcome everybody. Today I have a gentleman, the Italian stallion, Tom Mancuso, with me, and Tom was one of the first guys that I really collaborated with as a peer, as like loan officer to loan officer. He was like the first dude really that I could bounce things off of and talk to. That was a competitor. Like in my area, it's pretty small, so there's not a whole lot of people. And when I met Tom, he was super willing to share, super willing to give, and it formed a friendship for us, and we've done that ever since. And I brought him on because he's had some trials and tribulations in his life, and I think his story is amazing. And so, without further ado, Tom, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, and then go kind of share whatever it is that you want to share on where you were and where you're at now.
Yeah, so
And
thank you for
yeah,
having
let's
me.
start
My
with that.
name's Tom Mancuso. I'm a branch manager for Amerifund Home Loans. I started in the mortgage business in 2019, got licensed. Always worked at a brokerage, started a small mom and pop broker. Have worked in the automobile finance industry for the majority of my career, starting out into finance. Had some life-changing detours. I was in a pretty serious motorcycle accident in 2000. Certainly kind of set me back in business and personal life. Part of that, I suffered a traumatic brain injury, a leg amputation, a number of different setbacks. And so it took me some time to kind of get back into normal swing of things, I guess, in life. In my experience in the mortgage business, obviously went through COVID, some super low interest rates, and obviously now some super high interest rates, or higher interest rates, I should say. Really just kind of finding my traction, right? Shortly after I got licensed in the mortgage business, which was really new to me, getting back into the finance business after experiencing such a life-changing accident. Um, this market's been very volatile, and so I've definitely gone through some changes during COVID. When I shortly after I got licensed, it was refi boom. Everybody's super low interest rates. Everybody's refinancing. A lot of people like Greg and other people told me to focus on purchase business and building relationships. And while I took some of that to heart, it's hard to take your eye off the ball, right? And kind of turn down a lot of money when the refinances were coming in. So really changing my business and focusing on building relationships and real estate and relationships with real estate agents and the purchase aspect of things, really focusing on that. But at the same time, in my personal life, focusing on what's important to me, which is people, giving back, spending a lot of my time volunteering. And Greg was awesome enough to invite me to an event in Lake Havasu 2021, Greg?
Yeah, I
2020.
think
Yeah,
so.
it
Yeah,
seems like it's been
it's been that long
a
already.
while. I was a speaker at one of Greg's events. Awesome opportunity. Really kind of my first big speaking engagement in the mortgage business, or through the mortgage business. A fellow colleague of mine worked at a mortgage company with me. Was close friends with Greg. Shout out Tommy Bullock. And so that's how Greg and I kind of got connected. And so it was an awesome opportunity. Greg didn't set a timeline for me, which was probably bad. I was like, "How much time do I have?" He's like, whatever you want. Just you're the first speaker. Go ahead." So it took like an hour and 20 minutes, I think, and just poured my heart out and talked about a lot of the trials and tribulations I had been through. Really life changing incident. I lost my memory as part of my accident. Lost my leg. Completely just changed my entire life. But also taught me, life is not forever. Life is very precious, and what's important in life is not how many dollars and cents you make, is the impact that you make on others. And really, I just kind of leaned into that. That's all I had, actually. Pretty much lost everything in my life. And so all I had was the impact that I could make on others. And while I was really struggling in life, I did find that my story and what I had overcome could help others. Even though I didn't think it was an accomplishment, I just felt that I was given a choice and really didn't have any other choice other than giving up. And so I just tried to survive with my situation. But others found that important and inspirational. And so thanks to Greg's opportunity, I've been able to share my story with a lot of other people, and hopefully inspire others and give others at least an opportunity to see that no matter how bad that they think they have things, somebody's always probably got it worse, and they can succeed with that.
Yeah, I love Ed Milet. Will always talk about when someone's playing victim or complaining about something. He always says, "Compared to what?" Right? Like business isn't as good as it was. And it's like, okay, compared to what? Well, compared to COVID. Okay. Well, were you in business pre-COVID? And if you weren't, then, or how about 2008, 2009? Is it as bad as that? And I would through both, and I would say, no, we're having record first quarters in both companies. So it's going to be equivalent to the amount of work that you want to put in. We all understood that as well. Tell me a little bit about the timeline. Like, how long did it take for you from the time that you got in your accident to where you were actually getting a mindset of where, like, I really have a choice. I can either be the victim, right? Or I can come out of this, and I can come out of this as a better person. Like, how long did that take for you to self-realize and kind of work through all that?
Wow. Literally, my accident was noon on Saturday, every other normal day, and just happened out of nowhere. Completely unprepared. Wake up in a hospital 8 days later. I was in a coma for 8 days, just completely in shock. Like, I thought, obviously, anybody that rides a motorcycle, you think it's a possibility you're going to get in an accident. Thought I'd be dead or paralyzed. I never thought I would lose a leg. I didn't know anybody that lost a leg. So I wake up in the hospital, don't even know what happened to me because I lost my memory. So I'm in shock. It's like fight or flight. So I try and jump out of the hospital bed, try and walk, keep falling. They had to restrain me. Just to wrap my head around that. I was in the hospital for 3 months, 90 days, 89 days to be exact. Couldn't even really wrap my head around that. It was just like, man, I just want to get out of here. Like, my life's over. Life's over. I was 28 years old. Life's over. I had a 2-story house. The hospital found out the day before my release. I had a 2-story house. Social worker comes in, grabs my mother, pulls her outside, comes back in, says, hey, just so you know, we can't release you to your house. I said, what? I just want to go home at this point. She said, above the knee amputees can't climb stairs. I said, well, what are you talking about? She goes, you have to get an outdoor shower and sleep downstairs. You're never going to go upstairs again. 11 steps in my house. I said, excuse me, ma'am. My friend showed me a picture. I have a little wiener dog. He's got like little 4-inch legs. I go, if he can crawl up the stairs, why can't I live like that? She goes, you don't want to live like that. Luckily, I'm the type of person, you tell me not to do something, I'm going to try and prove you wrong. So I did get released to my house, but it was so from 3 months after the accident, probably a full year, maybe a little bit longer than a year, still doing physical therapy, still trying to learn how to walk with a prosthesis, because you have to learn how to walk all over again to operate a prosthesis. So well over a year, just trying to wrap my head around this is how life is, and I can actually try and live like this. I never was suicidal necessarily, just like heavily medicated, laying on my couch, dude, eating chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream, just getting fat. I was like 80 pounds, 135 pounds when I got released from the hospital, probably missing about 20 pounds of body weight within 6 months of getting released. So 9 months after my accident, I was like 180 pounds. I was just fat, just wasting away. And I'll never forget, I saw on TV, I used to watch this show called Real Sports on HBO, and Brant Gumbel was the host. And they had this guy on Real Sports. I'm watching the episode, laying on my couch, all pain medicated out, all these pills, have like 13 prescriptions. And this guy, Kyle Maynard, is a quad amputee. Dude is born with no arms and no legs. And the dude was a wrestler in high school, college, even did like some MMA. I used to like to hike and outdoor stuff. And this dude is hiking, no arms, no legs. I'm like proud of myself because I was able to finally, took me about 6 months, learn to scoop my butt up my 11 steps. This dude lives in a 3rd-story apartment. They show him eating cereal with a spoon, like with this like stub. It was crazy. And I was like, dude, man, I'm the problem. Like, I'm the problem. Like, forget letting other people set limitations for you. Like, you have a choice, Tom. Like, I just remember telling myself, like, you can give up. Like, you might as well just give up. Or you can try and get up and live. And I'll never forget, that was the day I go out in my garage, strap on rollerblades, a bunch of, like, hockey pads that I had, and go outside with my cane and try and rollerblade down the street. I remember my neighbor coming out. My neighbor was like big, muscular dude, like raced quads. Was like, you're crazy. And I was like, dude, I got no choice. I have no choice. Like, I can just lay on my couch and waste away 28 years old, or I can try and live my life. And I don't have a choice. I can't change it. My dad's favorite saying, I lost my dad when I was 21. My dad's favorite saying was, it is what it is. So you can't change it. It is what it is. And he used to tell me, exactly, it's not going to grow back.
We go another leg, right?
My dad used to tell me, look, life's like a game of poker. It's like a hand of poker. You don't need the best hand to win. It's all on how you play it. And so that's when I really just almost just hit rock bottom. I have no choice. And so probably a little bit over a year, just really trying to wrap my head around this is what I'm dealt. I have to try and live with it.
So about a year, what I just wanted you to mention that because I think a lot of people, if they get into a slump, they feel like they're never going to get out of it, even if it's a week, 2 weeks, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, right? And like no matter where you're at right now, like you can make a choice to make it better, right? And like I know I have a shirt and it says no one's coming to save you. Well, it says no one's coming to fucking save you. It's like nobody is, and you had to self-aware that. And so how long did it take? So you're a year in, you know you need to change. You're on 13 different medications. How long did it take for you to then start to realize as you're getting more mobile, doing more things, figuring stuff out with your prosthesis? Like how long did it take you to wean yourself off of
Yeah, so I
13
started
prescriptions?
asking questions. I started like questioning everything, right? Like go to my doctor for the follow up, and I'm like, hey, do you want? I walked in with like a grocery bag of all my pill bottles, and because I had to, right? Because I'm on pain medication, so the doctor is supposed to like look at your medication, make sure you're not taking too much. Even though I was running out of medication quick, and I don't blame my doctor necessarily. He was my doctor since I was like 20. Felt bad for me, dude. I'm in shambles. I lost my left leg, my left hand. I'm left-handed. Was shattered. I had titanium rods in my left hand. It's like frozen like this. Left shoulder's broken. Knocked my top front teeth out. My right foot was broke. I mean, I'm completely in shambles. I'm not saying that he didn't feel bad for me, but just well over prescribing medication. Like you said, my leg's not going to grow back. Like I was in a lot of pain, but I wasn't seeing alternative methods to deal with the pain. I also was stagnant. I was completely just laying on my couch, 20 hours a day. And that creates problems, right? And so I was like, hey, how long am I going to be on this medication? And he's like, oh, probably the rest of your life. I was like, what? And I was like, I'm starting to get my memory back. So I'm like, what do I take this for? He's like, oh, you take that for pain. It's a short acting pain medication. What do I take this one for? Oh, it's long acting pain medication. I was like, oh, what do I take this one for? He's like, oh, anxiety, because the pain medication causes anxiety. I was like, what do I take this one for? He's like, oh, sleep, because the other medication makes you not want to sleep. I was like, what do I take this for? He's like, oh, the bathroom, because all that other stuff, you can't use the bathroom. I was like, whoa, man, this sucks. Like, I don't want to just take pills the rest of my life. That's creating problems. I have PTSD. I'm completely depressed. And so, yeah, I had to want better. I had to make that choice. Like, you can be in a slump, you can have the worst things in life, but you have to have hope, right? And I thought, I didn't know what that looked like. I had no clue any of the things that I've been able to do in this shape that were possible, but I just thought, I don't want to die. I don't want to commit suicide. I'm not going to commit suicide. I don't want to like just be on my couch the rest of my life. Like it's got to be something that's possible. I got to have some type of life, but I don't think these are the answers, right? I don't think this situation is how it's supposed to pan out. And so you talk about that. Somebody's in a slump, whether it's business or personal. You have to want better. You have to make that choice that you want better. And then you have to make efforts to do that. They can be small steps. It can be asking your doctor about the pills. It can be small steps, but then you have to open up your eyes. And like you said, the Ed Milet thing compared to what? I remember touring this disabled fitness center in Tempe, Arizona. And I remember that morning when I was getting dressed, I get so frustrated because I was so impatient. Like I put on my leg and sounds so stupid. My foot would be like turned and I'm like, I'm like pissed off. I got to do it all over again and put it on. Now it's turning that way. And I'm like so pissed. I just want to get dressed. And it was so frustrating. It took me so long. I was so impatient. Then I remember going to this indoor gym and seeing a bilateral amputee above the leg, double amputee above the knee, running around the track. I was like, holy shit. As much as like I'm standing on one leg, putting my prosthesis on, like this person has no legs and they're running. Like I was so pissed off, I couldn't even get dressed. And this person was running. Like I'm not running. Like kind of puts things in.
Yeah, like I suck at jumping rope, and we're at the CrossFit Games, and we have the called double unders. This rope goes underneath your foot twice each time, and I can't do them to save my life. And there's a dude with one arm and one leg. And they got the rope attached to a piece of PVC, and he's literally doing double unders with one leg and one arm. And I'm like, man, what the
And that was
fuck's your
me. I was like,
excuse?
dude, what? Like maybe I gotta like just chill out a little bit, right? And then I remember seeing a quad amputee playing wheelchair rugby on the basketball, and I thought anything's possible.
Yeah, like anything's possible.
And so I was
And so,
29.
how
at
old are
this
you now?
point. I had started like getting out a little bit. So 29, just under 30.
Okay. How long did it take for you to get from where you were to like, you know, I know you do everything now. You hike, you ruck, like you do all the things that we all do, no matter what. How long did it take for all that to work itself out? Like,
Not right now.
do you still do
because
PT?
my stupid insurance declined it. I would like to. And yeah, and so
That's your excuse? That's your excuse right now? I mean,
that was what I was
we all
saying. My
know,
wife
we
is
all
a
know your
physical
wife's a
therapist.
PT.
I'm
So,
the worst
like,
patient ever, but I'm smart enough to where the exercises my regular physical therapist taught me, I am in the gym. I'm that guy now with like 3-pound weights, just crushing these stupid T's and A. I hate these freaking exercises. I'm in the gym, doing these PT exercises, and yeah, like I still do some of those things. It took me time. So one of my favorite movies growing up was Rocky IV. And if you remember, like Sylvester Stallone goes to like Russia and he's like in this barn, like doing all these stupid exercises with like boulders and shit. And then Ivan Drago's like in the state of the art gym with all these computer machines and all these trainers. That was me. I was like, I'm too fat to go to the gym, but I grew up like working out. Like when I was a teenager, high school, after high school, I always worked out. And so I was like, I'm not going to the gym like this because I'm a one-legged fat ass. So I'm going to start in my garage. And I didn't have weights, but I had paint cans, full paint cans. I had like some granite tile stuff. And I was just working out at my gym, just breaking a sweat, get some exercise. And that started breathing life into my body. It started getting my blood going, gave me a little bit to look forward. Little things, little accomplishments, right? Went a long way. Like I could do a bunch of curls with some paint cans and like just get my blood pumping. And that's why I say like just laying on my couch is horrible. It started to give me a little bit of hope. I was also giving a little bit of accomplishment. It gave me a little bit of accomplishment. And so, but then while I was in the hospital, I got a letter from Superior Court. I had got a DUI 2 months before this accident. It actually was my third DUI. And I got a letter from Superior Court while I was in the hospital that said I was being charged as a felon because in Arizona, 3 strikes you're out. And so it was my third strike. And so now I'm out of the hospital. I'm trying to get back into things. I'm just getting back into feeling like a human again and feeling like, man, I might survive like this. And then they are taking me to trial for this DUI. It was about a year and a half after my accident. So I'm just about 30 years old. And then now I start there's a court date. I have to go to Superior Court. I'm being charged as a felon, and I have to go through all of that. Just when I start doing better, like I'm getting out of the depression, starting to get off some of my meds. I have to deal with a bed that I made before my accident. I'm an alcoholic. I like to drink. Wasn't like a drink every day alcoholic, but I was like, hey, when we're going to get drunk, like we're going to get hammered drunk, and then we're going to leave 10 minutes before the bar closes and go to the gas station, get a bunch of beer so we can go drink at home or have alcohol at home to continue drinking, just complete fall down drunk. And so I had to deal with that. I had to go to court for about a year. They tried to charge me for a DUI from an accident, saying they took my blood from the accident and it tested positive for alcohol, which was not true, but I had to take it to trial. And I ended up giving, my plea bargain was 4 months in state prison and 3 years probation was the plea bargain that I finally accepted. So one leg, just start to get back to normal life. Now I got to go to prison.
Nice, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
kicked in the teeth over and over
I was
again.
at a crucial point when I was at court. I asked for house arrest, and the judge said, "Sir, do you know what this little statue is here on the court? This Lady Justice holding the scales." I was like, "No, not really." And she goes, "That's Lady Justice. Do you understand why Lady Justice is blindfolded?" "No, I don't, but I'm sure you're going to tell me." She said, "Lady Justice is blindfolded because justice is blind. We don't pick and choose justice based on who you are." Because I'm like going to court, I'm getting in shape now, wearing a shirt and tie, and I'm taking my cane to court so I can look like this, weak individual. I need house arrest. Yeah, that shit didn't work. Uh, so, yep. She said, don't worry,
She saw
sir.
right
We'll
through
send
you.
you to a medical prison. They'll take care of you. It'll be facilities. I said, no, I don't think so. I want to go to normal. I want to go to normal prison, general population. She said, are you sure? I said, yeah, because my lawyer told me that like medical prisons are like people dying of cancer. You lay in bed all day. You're literally handcuffed to a hospital bed, which is what I hated about my house, what I just broke out of. It's like I broke these shackles off my leg, not plural, you notice I said that. And so I refused. I said, nope, I don't want to do that. So the joke's on me because you have to go through jail before you get to state prison. So I get to county
Yeah,
jail.
it's the best part.
Sheriff Joe, the the jail guards, the correction officers are like, what's that? I'm like, it's my leg. They're like, you can't bring that in here. Was that electronic? I was like, yeah, it's battery operated. They're like, yeah, you can't bring that in here. They're like, what are you going to charge it next to your hair dryer? They're like, we don't know. So they take I have to give them my prosthesis, my prosthetic leg, and they hand me crutches, bamboo crutches, actually. I never used crutches because I broke my shoulder. So I used a wheelchair or a walker. So I had to learn how to use crutches. They handcuffed me to the crutches, one hand to each crutch. I was like, really, dude? Do you think I'm just going to like hop out of here? Like, what the? And so I had to spend 4 months in prison, which helped confirm I was doing the right thing. I had given up drinking after my accident, realized as I heard stories about my life that I was a basket case. And I had a lot more problems than drinking. I was just using that to self medicate. And now I had a lot of things that alcohol wouldn't fix. And so I spent 4 months in prison and just confirmed that I was doing what was right. I just confirmed that I was on the right path, confirmed that I needed to continue to better myself and continue just working to improve myself. Eventually, when I got to state prison, they gave me my prosthetic leg back, continued to work out, continued to read when I couldn't work out, continue to try and do the right thing to help others, and really just continue on my path that this is what I'm supposed to do. I need to better myself. I need to continue working on myself. Nothing's permanent. Missing a leg's permanent, but being disabled is a choice. That's really what I got to. If I can go to prison and be okay, I can continue in life and be okay. And so, yeah,
How do you take all of that you learned through that process and then get into a business that can be difficult at times? And, I think in any high level sales position, like you have to do things that you don't want to do. I mean, everybody does at some point. So how did you take that and correlate, like when you got in the loan business and even now, like after, rates have gone up and I know you made a big shift in where you work and you're at an amazing company now and, you get to be a leader and you're doing all these things now. Is all that stuff like in the back of your mind and do you share those wins and those lessons with yourself, like when you're not feeling like you want to go do something or with your team? Like how does that stuff
and so I
correlate for you?
try to not get on the soapbox often with my team, even though I hear it. There's a saying I heard somewhere: there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, and that's in business and in life. That's really what carried me through prison, because I did some things that were the right thing to do, which were completely wrong in that environment. And my life was threatened, my safety was threatened, but I made it out. I was okay. But in business, especially in very turbulent markets and tough times, we're faced with decisions, especially in this business. Years ago, people were doing a lot of bad things, taking advantage of clients. They still do this day, maybe not as egregious, but they still do. But that's not right. We have to learn to play the long game. We have to learn that truly, whether we're going to do business with someone today or not, doesn't mean we won't in the future. Doesn't mean they don't know people that they can refer us do business with. You never know when you're going to cross paths with someone again. And so same thing, like the being disabled is a choice, right? Like in life, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Truly, how we react to things is what matters. Someone very well, like Jocko Willink, always talks about, like, there's this video that he did good, like, oh, you got fired, good. Like, oh, your wife left
Yeah.
you, good. or things like that, right? And the glass is truly always half full. A lot of these things I tell myself, like, where is the opportunity at, right? Like, rates are high, great, cool. There's hundreds, thousands of people leaving our business. Awesome. My competition's literally going away. I can look at it as, oh, maybe I should get a different job. Or guess what? Hey, guess there's so many less loan officers in my business. And what is the right thing that I can do for myself, my family, my community, my team? Every day I have to look at that. What can I do to help someone else out? And a lot of that comes with perspective. I did a coaching call this morning. Like, put yourself in the shoes of your client. Like, when you're calling to follow up on them, you can look at it as you're calling to harass them because you need money and you need to do a loan, or truly they're trying to buy a home and you're trying to help them. What was going through your mind when you bought your first home? Or maybe you don't own a home. What's going through your mind of when you want to buy a home? What are you thinking? What are you nervous about? Put yourself in the client's shoes and try and solve that problem for them. Like, if you are going through the same thing, what problems would you need someone to help you solve? And perspective goes a long way, but it also is a reminder that you have to do what's right by people, not expecting the return right now. Understanding the return will come at some point in your life, maybe in a completely different manner. I truly feel that the things that I'm blessed with today, my two amazing children, my amazing wife who puts up with me, God knows, I don't know why she puts up with me half the time. Like, this poor woman, a lot of that I truly feel is through my service to others and giving back. Like, I know those things come back around. And even if they don't as a direct return, you'll feel better about yourself because you did the right thing. I actually, there's times where I tell people maybe going with someone else is a better choice, or, you know, not buying a home right now. It's financially maybe not the best thing for me, but it is. It's the right thing for that client. It's the right thing. There's not a bad time to do what's right. And at the end of the day, if I can just lay my head down at night knowing I did what was right for other people, that's good for me. That works. Because it's not about how many loans you do. On my deathbed, I just want to know that I made an impact on someone else's life and not for my bank account.
And for what you guys say your goals are, I promise I will reach out to you. Like, I don't make money if I don't do your loan, but right now is not it. It's not the time. And then he called, hey, what about now? I'm like, nope. He's, what about now? I'm like, nope. What about now? Nope. And then I called him. I said, okay, it's time. And I think, like, especially right now, like, I know everybody wants to refi because of the rates they had last year. And it's like, I don't know if it's the right time yet. Are you strapped? No. Okay. Well, let's wait, because to go from 7.625 to 7, it's not a great deal for you for what it costs to do so. If we believe we'll get in the sixes and maybe in the high fives, whatever, into the year next year, then I think that and the extra $50 a month, $80 a month that you're paying now, you can afford, then let's wait. And I'll put you on my list. And I promise I will call you when I can get you 5.75. I will not make money. Like, that's part of it too. Like, I still want to make money and I want to help you, but to do you from 8 to 7.25, and from 7.25 to 6.5, and from 6.5 to 5.75 is, I don't know. Let's just wait. Like, now some people can't. Some people can't afford it, and I get that part. But most people are okay. They were okay when they bought it. So let's wait until we see exactly what's going to happen, right? And when we can get you the biggest bang for your buck, let's do your refinance then. And a lot of people won't. Like, when I worked at Countrywide, I knew people that they churned all the way down. People were in the 7.5s and the rates in the 5s, and they would do them every 30 days and give them a half a point better. And that's when you could roll closing costs into an FHA streamline, which is why you can't anymore. And it was literally like every 3 months, they were just taking people a half a point down because it met the threshold for what they were allowed to do. And like, well, I'm saving them money. It's like, well, are you? You could give them a whole point and a half better today. Yeah, but then I wouldn't get 3 loans. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, I didn't even think about only saving them a half a point. I was like, you're at this. Today's pricing is this. This is what I can give you. So, yeah, I like that it's, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing. That's especially in our industry. Like, and I mean, I think it's something like 40% of LOs didn't renew their license. So, that's going to help out having the people that really want to do the right thing, continue in our business. We'll end with this. What's one thing, like I know that you said you really want to make impact. What's one thing that you feel that you can have the most impact on others that you would be able to share to help others go out and maybe do the same thing?
When I was in the car business, it's so ironic that in the car business they taught this. They said people will buy from you when they like, trust, and respect you. I was like, cool. Well, we're in the car business. Nobody does any of those things with us. They all hate us. They don't respect us. Certainly don't like coming to a car dealership. Even the people in the service department were hiding. And so remembering those things, right? It's like what you just talked about. Like maybe it's not the best decision, you telling that person to hold off and now's the right time. Maybe for your bank account, it's not the right thing. But in the big picture, it is, because that makes that person trust you. They respect you because you're not just out for a dollar, and they like you because you made that commitment and you followed through with it, right? And you stayed true to your word. And so it comes down to that, just being a good person and truly doing what is right for others, because like you said, karma. I would want someone to do those things for me and my family. And so I that's how I look at everything. Like if the tables were turned and I was on the other end of that table or the other end of that phone call, how would I want them to treat me? Like if I was in a situation doing business with them, and I relate that to a lot of my clients. Hey, I see you run an auto parts store or auto repair center. If I came in and my car was making weird noises and you told me my transmission needed to be rebuilt, you know, are you making the best decision for me, or is it something small that could be done? And so putting yourself in that position, treating others like you want to be treated, and understanding, having the wherewithal. You go, wow, man, I'm new to this business. Okay. So if you want to treat your clients best, you have a lot of work to do. You have a lot of education, you have a lot of time you have to invest in yourself to truly take care of that person best. We're in a total entitled fucking society now. Dude, everybody is freaking entitled, right? And it's something I look at my two young boys. I have a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And man, that's something that, even though part of my childhood, my family was, upper middle class for part of it. And then all of a sudden we were like low middle class. And that was something that my dad, even when we were doing really good, my dad made me understand putting in work and achievement and working for something and then getting that reward, whether it's something monetary or a toy or whatever, or a promotion or whatever it may be. Understanding that if you truly want to be successful and you want to take care of others and you want to do what's best for your client, you have to work on yourself first. You have to put in work. You have to be in that garage lifting frickin' paint cans to eventually get to a point where I can walk down my hallway in the dark carrying my child, right? I never understood that's how all that would work out. But we have to understand that we have to invest in ourselves to provide for others later. And so that's a lot of work. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to do it. We all want the reward now. We want low rates now. I always tell my loan officers, I'm like, just so you know, hey, I hate to tell you, you have no clue what's going to happen when rates drop. You think servicers are going to give up these loans super easy? You remember, Greg, during COVID, like there were a lot of lenders we couldn't even submit a payoff to until we're ready to close the loan. Because as soon as you submit a payoff, they try and scrape and scoop the refi. Yes, snake it.
Yeah.
Loan Depot. Holy
Snake
shit,
it.
every time. I'd have the customer call, or I'd get on the phone three-way with the customer and call and say, they got an inheritance. They're just going to pay it off cash. That's why they want to pay off. Like all kinds of misleading shit. The grass is not always greener, right? And so investing in yourself, educating yourself, working on yourself to get yourself in a better position to provide for your clients, and putting perspective. Why is all that important? Because your clients, your family, they deserve it. You should respect yourself enough to where I always tell my clients, if they see me in a store, like I want to go up to them. I want them to be happy with me. I want to hear how the house is doing. Huh?
Yeah, you want to be ducking.
Yeah. Like, holy
You don't want to be
shit, I got
ducking.
one leg. There's not a lot of freaking one-legged people out there. They're going to pick me out of the freaking thing pretty easy, right? And so remembering perspective, remembering there's a lot of work involved, but that all that work that you're going to put in and the investment you're going to make in yourself will pay dividends. you have to remember to do the right thing for others, but remember what it's like to be on the other side of those things. And remember that, all those things are worth it. Your clients are worth it. And if you build that relationship with those people, it'll pay dividends.
Well, dude, I really appreciate you being on with me. I love you like a brother. I know we're far away, but we're not. It's crazy. And so the time that I do get to spend with you, I love. Your perspective is always great. It's a giving heart. It's a servant heart. I know you're a servant leader, and so I just appreciate
Thanks, man. I
you
appreciate it.
on
Thank you
and
for
sharing
having me.
some things with us today.
All right.